here on set is our international affairs commentator, Doug Herbert. Doug, talks then in Saudi Arabia. Why Saudi Arabia? What might come out of this?
Yeah. You're right, a nice sober question, right? We're a little bit in upside down world here, Stuart. Time was not so long ago. You don't have to go back far. Talks like this, when U.S. and Russia spoke, it was held in Europe, basically, either Geneva or Helsinki, Reykjavik, Iceland. No more. Riyadh is Donald Trump's go-to country because it's a transactional place, and there's no longer the question of all the human rights abuses that it's been accused of. Remember Jamal Khashoggi and all of that, the Saudi hit squad that was accused of basically knocking off the journalist in Istanbul. All that's over right now. You go to Saudi Arabia. This is also a place that wants to be a key global player in the game. Knows with Donald Trump, it has a real foothold into its ambitions. Also at the center of Donald Trump's hopes of having some normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. So the talks are in Riyadh. Like I said, upside down world. But of course, this has all become sort of normalized. We don't even think about the fact it's being held in Riyadh now. They're being held there. Moving on. You have a situation right now where this is a dream in the making. Putin never thought he would get so lucky, perhaps. Not only does he have a Trump administration, which Putin seems to be able to play like a fiddle. Maybe he'll be proven wrong. Maybe Trump will be transactional and flip on Putin, right? We never know how things are going to pan out with Donald Trump. But for now, Putin's getting exactly what he's wanted. He said from the outset of this war, this is not just about Ukraine. For Russia, this is about basically rewriting the security architecture of the world, an architecture that he has railed against as being written against Russia, being against Russia's interests, and Putin's going to do something about it. That has meant trying to push NATO back from encroaching on its borders. So maybe getting Donald Trump to pull some troops, NATO troops, out from the eastern reaches of NATO countries, maybe pulling U.S. troops out of Europe. Basically, like I said, tearing up the old playbook of everything that has been normal about the post-World War II security order. So Putin is getting his wish here. I want to hear, though, I want our viewers to hear what Lavrov actually had to say going into these talks, because it's not just the Trump administration, through J.D. Vance and others, that is absolutely holding Europe in contempt and saying you have no place at this table. Listen to the Russian foreign minister.
I don't know why they should be at the negotiating table. If they're going to come up with some cunning ideas about freezing the conflict, while actually intending, as is their custom and nature, to continue the war, then why should we invite them at all?
So we had heard the Trump envoy the other day, right, Keith Kellogg, the Ukraine envoy, basically saying to the Europeans, no, you're not at the table. It's not realistic. It's not happening. But, he's been sort of maybe soft-pedaling a little bit more in recent days, saying nothing's off the table, nothing's excluded. But as of now, as things stand, he's pretty clear that there's no place for Europe at the table. And you have Sergei Lavrov. I mean, like I said, a dream for Russia, this meeting. Manna from heaven, Stuart. Basically, Sergei Lavrov is on the exact same page in his view of Europe, his very dim view, may I say, basically saying, Europe has no place at this table. Why should it? Europe's the one that's continuing, having provoked this war. That is essentially almost verbatim sort of what we're hearing out of Washington right now. Rarely have we seen Washington and Moscow on such a similar wavelength when it comes to their geopolitical view of what is supposedly one of the United States' firmest allies since World War II, and even before that. No more. A new world order in which all bets are off, all geopolitical bets, and everything, whether you're an ally or not of the United States, is conditional on your behavior here and now in the present.